Imagine sitting in your living room, watching TV, and feeling a pair of eyes on you. You look around, but the house is empty. You check the locks, and they're secure. You think you're alone. But in 1986, for the Bowen family in Massachusetts, the nightmare was already inside the walls.
It started with small, unexplainable things. Tina Bowen and her sisters began noticing objects moving on their own. A glass left on the counter would be on the floor a minute later. The TV channels would change while they were sitting right there.
Then came the sounds, knocking behind the walls, and rhythmic scratching that seemed to follow them from room to room.
Their father, Frank, thought the girls were just being imaginative. That was until he found a message scrawled on the basement wall in what looked like blood. It said, "I'm back. Find me if you can."
The family was terrified. They called the police, but after a thorough search, nothing was found. The locks were changed and the windows were bolted. Yet, the occurrences only got worse.
One night, while Tina was in her bedroom, she saw a pale, ghostly figure standing in her doorway. It was a boy with long, matted hair, wearing a dress that belonged to her deceased mother. Before she could scream, he vanished into thin air.
On December 8, 1986, the terror reached its peak. Frank Bowen returned home to find his daughters being held at knife point by the intruder.
In the chaos that followed, the intruder disappeared again, seemingly vanishing into a solid wall.
When the police arrived this time, they didn't just look around, they began tearing the house apart. Behind a heavy wooden wardrobe in the master bedroom, they found a small hidden panel. Behind that panel was a cavity in the wall, just large enough for a person to crouch in.
There, they found 17-year-old Daniel LaPlante. He had been living inside the walls of their home for nearly a year.
He had created a network of tunnels between the wall studs, allowing him to watch the family through electrical outlets and ventilation slats. He knew their schedules, their secrets, and their deepest fears. He had survived by stealing scraps of food and drinking from the pipes. But the most chilling part, even after his arrest and subsequent escape from a juvenile facility, his reign of terror didn't end. He went on to commit a horrific triple homicide against another family nearby.
The story of Daniel LaPlante isn't a ghost story. It's a reminder that the most terrifying monsters don't come from another world. They are flesh and blood, they are patient, and they might be listening to you right now from the other side of your bedroom wall.
Next time you hear a creak in the hallway or a scratch behind the drywall, don't just ignore it, because you never truly know who or what is sharing your home with you.